This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Hi friends, I'm Carrie Jo, and this is Holy Chuckles Podcast. This is a space for honest faith, lived experiences, and shining a light in the places we've learned to hide. I'm not here to explain faith. I'm here to live it out loud. So take a breath and let's make room for what's real. Welcome back to Holy Chuckles Podcast. I'm really glad you're here. Today I want to talk about 1 Samuel chapter 2 verses 28 and 29. Because the longer I think about those verses, the more I realize how much they affect my life. In the literal story, God is speaking to Eli. Eli was a priest. God had chosen Eli's family. God appointed Eli, and God entrusted Eli. And then God reminds Eli, did I not choose you? Did I not appoint you? Did I not give you honor? And then God asks a question that stings a little bit. God asks, why are you honoring your sons more than me? And what God was really asking Eli is, why are you protecting what feels familiar instead of protecting what is sacred? Eli wasn't unaware. Eli was passive. He allowed corruption to continue because it was easier than confronting it. And God pointing it out, that is uncomfortable. And when I look at this verse symbolically, I don't see Eli as some distant priest. I see a pattern of being chosen, a pattern of being entrusted, and a pattern of being given influence. And then after that is given, slowly honoring something else more than what God gave you. Maybe it's security, image, fear, approval. Verse 28 is identity, and verse 29 is misalignment. And most all of us live in that tension of who we really are and who we're trying to portray. Verse 28 says God chose you. And verse 29 says you chose something else. You didn't even choose you. And that's what the whole human experience is about. God already chose you. God already chose you. It's you that has to do the choosing. Are you choosing your authenticity? Or are you choosing a performance? Are you choosing co-creation with God so you can live your best life? Or are you choosing worrying about what everyone thinks of you? What are they going to say? What if I have no friends? What if I don't live in the biggest house? What if I don't drive the best car? What is it that you're choosing? For me, being chosen looked like opportunity, leadership, titles, responsibility, influence. And then when I was chosen, I thought it meant I had to prove something. But in this verse, God didn't say, hey, Carrie Jo, I'm going to choose you, but now you have to prove to me that I made the right choice. This verse says, did I not choose you? God made it clear. Every single one of us is chosen. God said, "Did I not choose you?" Being chosen, it's identity. It's not performance. Being chosen is not what you see on the internet when everyone says, the chosen ones. You're special because you're chosen. Every one of us is chosen. We're just chosen to do different things. And every single thing that each one of us is chosen for is important. We are all created by God, and we are all a piece of God. And the place that I got lost was honoring the performance over the identity. I was honoring being needed over being aligned. I was honoring security over obedience. And I was honoring systems over the discernment that God gave me. And that's how subtle it is. It doesn't look evil. Sometimes it looks like responsibility. Sometimes it even sounds spiritual. And sometimes it even sounds wise. And that's why this verse is so uncomfortable for me. And when I read these verses, the most powerful thing that I notice, God isn't screaming in these verses. God is confronting, and there is a difference. God is not saying, "I hate you. You did wrong." All God said was, "Hey, Eli, I entrusted you." God corrected with love, not fear. And that is accountability, not punishment. I think sometimes we read passages like this through religious trauma that we're working through or that we may have from our past. And when we read a verse like this, we might interpret it as threat. And I would say that if I would have read this 5 or 6 years ago, that's probably how I would have interpreted it. But what I read now, what I hear now is protection. Is God saying, if you keep honoring the wrong thing, it's going to cost you. And that's not fear-based. That's truth. And that's truth because I've already lived it. It cost me every single time. Now, when I reflect on 1 Samuel 2:28 and 29, I don't ask, where am I failing? Now I ask myself, what are you prioritizing? What are you protecting? What are you excusing? And what are you calling wisdom that is really fear? Those are the questions I have to ask myself now. Because sometimes honoring the wrong thing isn't dramatic. Sometimes it's staying somewhere because it looks holy. Sometimes it's staying somewhere because it sounds responsible. Sometimes it's staying somewhere because it pays well or feels stable, but it's not aligned. And that's exactly what I had to face. Everything looked great and I could pay my rent, but it wasn't aligned with who I am now. I just quit my job the middle of 2025. And so this is fairly new for me. And I can say the difference from Carrie Joe then to Carrie Joe now is I can hear it. I can hear when I'm about to honor the wrong thing. I can feel it in my body because alignment is calm and fear is loud. When I think back to who I used to be, that performance was frantic. And now my identity is steady and my body knows the difference. Verse 28 and 29, these verses aren't about shame. It's about remembering. that God chose you. You hearing my voice today, you are chosen. God chose you. I don't know what God chose you for. I don't know what your purpose is here on this earth, but I know God chose you. God chose you. God chose you when you were born. God chose you yesterday. God chose you today, and God will choose you tomorrow. So knowing that you're chosen by God, not to prove, not to perform, but just simply chosen because of who you are right in this moment. Knowing that, what are you going to stop honoring? And when are you going to start honoring yourself, God, and your authenticity?